come here to chew bubblegum and kick. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I usually like to watch a movie during holidays and seasonal events. Easter is usually for some historic epics, set during the times of the Roman Empire. Halloween is of course for horror movies. Christmas has a bunch of Christmas movies and I usually watch Krampus, Gremlins or Love Actually. For New Year's Eve I usually watch an action-packed B-movie, something like Death Wish 3 or 4, The Purge Election Year or Anarchy. Or today's movie, which I think might have started this tradition, John Carpenter's They Live. A triple threat as it is a B-action movie, a B-sci-fi movie and actually a good movie, which criticizes American consumerism and capitalism. A movie which isn't that subtle about what it has to say, but that's fine, as it brings its point around pretty well. And I actually think that this just made the movie age even better. We are living in not very subtle times after all, and capitalism has become so rampant that it does feel like we are living in a dystopian nightmare world in which people have stopped thinking and only consume, consume and consume. And some trying to be as lazy as possible, trying to make big money by flooding the internet with AI content, and let ChatGPT or other chatbots do the thinking. Yeah, we don't need aliens to doom ourselves in real life, I guess. But let's talk about something better. Let's talk about They Live. They Live was made in an odd era for Carpenter, in which he made B-movies which were only moderate successes or disappointments. Now a lot of these movies are cult favorites, like Big Trouble in Little China or this video's topic, They Live. It's a unique style which you will become aware of once you have watched a couple of his movies of this time. But let's talk about the story, in case you don't know about it. They Live follows Nada, a drifter who is looking for a job in economically difficult times. He finds a job at a construction site and resides at a nearby shantytown. The work is tough and the shantytown is full of odd characters. But not just that, the TV program seems to malfunction from time to time, and the TV stations are sometimes hijacked by pirate channels, in which a crazy preacher tries to warn the people of America from them who make people consume and stay asleep, so to speak. But things are getting even worse when the police raids Shantytown, and it's not just breaking up the people of the Shantytown, no, they use excessive force and outright murder some of the inhabitants. Well, I guess that's also not far away from a lot of police operations. Nada is trying to escape and finds shelter in a church, where he also finds a bunch of sunglasses. He does have to get away though, as the church is also getting demolished shortly after. With one of the glasses he spots that the world looks different. Subliminal messages appear everywhere and tell people to consume, to sleep, to obey and to pray to their god. Money. But that's not all. He also sees that some people are not people. They are actually aliens that have infiltrated humanity. And now they live among us, controlling everything, having positions of power, and so on. So Nada does what everyone in that situation would do.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And that's when the action really starts, and it is relatively bloody and feels like a man going on a rampage, just murdering innocent people, at least on the outside. We and Nada are in the know, and just someone like Nada could really move the human rebellion forward. Why him, you ask? Well, because he's not that smart, to be honest, but he is doing things. Extreme things and not very clever things, but he is doing these things. Thankfully, his colleague Frank is on his side after a pretty long brawl. The movie gets pretty action-packed, but as I haven't seen it in a while, I did forget how much sci-fi there is in this movie. I mean, sure, I remembered the aliens, but I forgot about the drones and those magical wristwatches, which work as cell phones and teleportation devices, and can create portals I guess, that lead to an underground facility of the aliens. I also forgot that there are quite the pimped out guns. And the first gun that Nada gets is an impressive enormous revolver that looks like a special 35-7 Magnum. Later he gets an MP5 with a weird enormous muzzle brake or something like that, and a foregrip, which is not on the bottom of the barrel but points to the side. More like with a machine gun, I guess. Keith David also gets a pistol, I guess it's a 45 with a big muzzle brake or something like that. It's nothing too important, I guess, but just something that I thought was odd. Looks like me just selecting whatever I have as upgrades in Gun Club VR and auto-add it to the weapon. What I also forgot was how good the story actually gets, and I'm not sarcastic here. Sure, the gleefully cheesy and B-movie attitude of this movie is endearing and I like it, but the last act just adds plot twists and ideas that are really well done and interesting. Maybe I was just getting too drunk while watching it though. It was New Year's Eve after all. But I think the movie is actually just pretty good and I really enjoyed it on this watch. I'm not the only one who digs this movie. They Live has influenced a lot of other media and culture itself. The subliminal messages have been used by street artist Shepard Fairey, and other street artists have also used the style for their work. The movie has heavily influenced some games as well, like Saints Row 4 and Duke Nukem. And there is of course also South Park, which simply recreated the alley fight in one of the episodes. They Live is one of the cult movies, a classic with some fantastic elements, and oh shit, I haven't talked about the cast. How can I talk about They Live without mentioning the great cast? The movie is featuring the, I would say, greatest wrestler in history in his best role, Rowdy Roddy Piper, who was basically born to play Nada. He's not the greatest actor, but like Schwarzenegger he has a great presence on screen, and it works perfectly here. He is the everyman, even though he is probably stronger than every man. He has some great lines which only Roddy could make work, and he is just believable in this chaotic world which They Live has created. But he is not alone here. There's also Meg Foster, who just has the weirdest eyes, not sure what's going on there, and which I thought had a bigger role in the movie, but she's basically there for 2 or 3 scenes, I guess. But she is having an effect on the plot. And of course, the one and only Keith David is here again. I have watched him last year in The Thing and really liked him there, but in They Live I think he is even better. And just like Roddy Piper, he fits perfectly here. Keith David is an actor who I actually didn't like for a while after I watched Requiem for a Dream. But after seeing some of his other work, I really started to like and appreciate him. He also did some great work with Carpenter, as I said, with this one and The Thing. And here he can really shine. His character Frank is an equal to the Nada character. Well, I guess Nada is a little bit stronger, but Frank is definitely smarter, and together they are a great team. Frank even gives a good hint to Nada how they should proceed at one point in the movie. The ending is also pretty great and just so Carpenter. It kind of feels like it could be a spin-off to a Snake Plissken movie. They only would have to set it more in the future, or come up with an explanation how they are in the same timeline. But from the style and characters, and especially the ending, they feel very similar. They Live is a great movie. It's imaginative with a great message and a fun B-movie style that mixes things up to make it more entertaining, by how much I liked it on this rewatch, and I will give They Live a 9 out of 10.
Controller! You're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
I've got one that can see.
Mama don't like tattletale.
Now we start spilling some blood.
Let's go!
Push a button.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick it. And I'm all out of bubblegum.